So this video is going to be a bit different. I am going to be doing a 2020 rewind of both my dashcam videos as well as my tech videos. So both videos are going to probably be at least an hour and a half long each. So this is going to be the tech rollback. So there's going to be a couple of tutorial videos like the installing Hackintosh and all that stuff. The links will be in the description of the actual other video. You will not find any of the download links in this video. Just thought I'd give you guys a heads up of that. Anyways, enjoy everything I've done throughout 2020. Peace. Hello, I just spent the last 10 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that, on taking apart this computer so we can rebuild it together. Let's get started. So first thing we're going to work with here is the logic board. Now this is just an older logic board from ASUS, kind of like Intel Pentium, basic kind of thing. So there's a couple things that we're going to need to do with this logic board before we can put it into the computer or into the case. First thing is to add this, which is a computer modular thing. This just was back then. This is what houses the Intel Pentium 2 processor. Kind of just a cool thing that they did back in the early days. So we're going to need that. We're also going to need this. Now this is a very small amount of RAM here. 32 megs. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put this into a DIMM slot here. Make sure it's lined up there. Yeah. Just want to push them in. One side and then the other side. There we go. So now, doing a little tiny wiggle, the RAM is in. So now with the processor, there is a big kind of slot right here. Gonna want to put this, kind of just slide her in right like that here. These can be a little tricky because we don't work with these anymore. Just slot in just like the RAM. But now that is complete. So now, what we're going to need now is the case. So now if I'm just going to set this over to the side and I'll get the case. Now a disclaimer on this about this video is that this video is going to have no pauses rather than the intro and the outro. So there is going to just be straight through. So now we have the case. So now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put these cables. All cases are going to have these cables. Pretty much everything from here on out will be based on almost any modern build. So I'm going to have to slide these cables in along here a little bit. Like that, get them out of the way. Now you're going to want your logic board in. So I'm going to want to set her in gently. Make sure of the I/O shield, which was, apparently I forgot to take that out. Just slide that in like that, and there we go, our logic board is in place. So now what you're going to need is a Phillips head screwdriver, this is pretty much all the same. Every single motherboard will just use a whole entire build. We'll use just the basic Phillips head screws, which are like these. Focus. For some reason, won't focus in. turn on here. I want to see if the focus on this one. Oh, whatever. But it's just the basic Phillips head. Just screw that into all of the. Screw this into all of the spots here in the motherboard, which there is a few. Okay, I'm gonna have to flip ratchet screwdriver to the scissor. There's one. So you're gonna have to repeat this a few times here. So, kind of basic. Okay. There we go. So, sorry about that, keeps rolling out of the. This is supposed to be a magnetic screwdriver, but for some reason it is not. So I'm gonna have to slide this in here. So what you're actually gonna want to, something else you're gonna want to have to do is to do a cross pattern. So, kind of you start on the top corner, go to the bottom corner, and vice versa. So when I get that in there like that, screw that in there now. So now it is so now we have to do this one here. I don't know why I'm trying that again because it's not even going to work. Just put that in there. So you just kind of slide that in, kind of just screw that in there. You just do the same with this top corner here. Now there's going to be two screws in the middle. That one don't really need to. Those ones you don't have to do in any certain pattern or anything because the motherboard is already pretty much fully screwed into place, pretty much already. So it's just pretty much based on if you're doing too much pressure or not when you got the screw in the middle. So don't do too much pressure and you should be fine. So. So there we go. And now we just have one more screw here. For this hole right, actually no, there's not even a hole right there. This is a hole. Now motherboards will have different types of screw holes for different types of mounting mechanisms. So it will have a so you can turn around and put it into, so you can put this motherboard into different types of cases. I don't know, I actually personally do not know if this is a normal ITX or not. Because I haven't worked with that many computers. Apparently this is a magnetic screw driver, just none of the others. This is the only screw that would want to attach to this thing apparently. That's good enough. So now that we have the case, or the motherboard in the case, the next step is for the power supply, which you're going to have to stand the case up for this part here. Now here is the power supply. It is just a basic 100 and some watt. How much watts is this? 220 watt. So. But it is rated for 230, which is not what we would want to use it for, because it says 230 max. So, in other words, they say it can be rated to be used up to 230, but I do not recommend that at all. Power supplies are can be dangerous, and I don't want me or other people to possibly get hurt. So now I'm going to get some screws here. Another thing with this case is that I actually noticed that every single screw except for the motherboard and the fan screws are the same. So all these screws are just in a big magnetic tray to keep sorted. With computer builds, you actually can do that, except for the fan and the fan and the hard drive and floppy drive and all those drives. It is the only ones that are able to. So it's the floppy drives and the disk drives and the hard drive that are different screws. Everything else is the same in this PC. So that's what it is. So why is this not lining up here? The heck? There we go. So now that is on there. I'm sorry for the long time it's going to be the power supply. That is tight in there now, and now we can get the other screws in here. So it's the same with the power supply, cross pattern. So I want to do this corner. And then this corner. Two. Oh, sorry about this. This is taking quite a lot longer than I expected to get this computer put back together. This is going to be a long video, so you might want, probably should have said that at the beginning, but popcorn or something, sit down in front of a TV or computer or something. And this is going to be one of those videos that you're going to want to watch while eating dinner or sitting down on a phone or something while eating. So, because this video is going to be pretty long. So I'm going to, so this is the last screw I'm putting in now. Gosh damn it. So there we go. Now that's probably the most difficult thing that you would probably have to do in this build. So now what we're going to need to do now is to do a little bit of, I would say do a little bit of cable management, but we actually could do cable management on this system, but there probably would be useless, or would be a waste of time to do it probably. So I'm just going to move on to the next part, which is installing this internal fan. I think it goes in like this. I know it goes in ways. As it goes in like this. There we go. So you can see it properly. I'm sorry for the angle. It's just I couldn't think of any other way to do it than to just have the camera on a tripod. Have it face down like this. So this is going to be difficult as well. This screw, I know these screws were pretty tight in the system, so I'll take them out. So this might be a pain in the butt. The fan. So now the fan is going to be the exact same as everything else. So as the motherboard power supply, that needs to be put in at one corner, then the other corner type thing, just like every single other part of this computer. So, and then now, I'm going to have to do 3 more screws on this sucker. I'm sorry for this being dirty, just there's no point in cleaning it because this computer is going to rather be recycled or given away to a viewer. If you live in the Smithers area, Smithers BC area, and you would like this PC, please hit me up. There will be a Hangouts or Snapchat link or something. One of them, a link down in the description. I know it's nothing special or anything, but it's just it'll be something to do. Gonna get out there to some extent. And then if you decide you want it, and it's first come first serve type thing, it would be a, I don't care, I wouldn't care if you recycled it, I wouldn't care what you did with it afterwards. So it's, okay, oh, son of a, okay, these screws are stripped, I don't know. I think I stripped these screws back so I won't get them out of the system because it was so tight. It was kind of a pain. So these are only going to go in so far, and then I don't think they'll go in anymore. I think the front panel can get on those still like that. I can't see why I wouldn't be able to. So now that that is in, now it is the next part of wiring the system up. So there should be a... Okay, I'm going to lay this down here. Just give me a second. There we go. So now there should be a 20 pin right here. And then that is actually it for now. I can actually turn around and plug in CP fan header now, just so we don't have to worry about that later. And then now is the next part of the DVD, of the disk drive to be installed. So this is going to be the part that's going to be probably a little annoying. So we're going to kind of just drive. No, we want disk drive first. Oh, sorry about that. So I'm going to put this in, and then we're going to screw these in. So, I'm sorry if you guys can't see that very well. I can't really think of any other type of angle to put this at right now. Okay. gonna want to do this as a live thing, so the camera won't be only pauses in this video, like what I said earlier, will be the intro and the outro. So I can do the intro and also do the outro at a different angle. That will be on a different angle, but rather than that, everything else will be on this angle. Ah, son of a... There we go. Wow, this is taking quite a while. Quite a bit longer than what I thought. Already 20 minutes. So, this is... So one thing that these computers did not come with, which was a little bit of a pain, was a DVD drive. Even though they had a CD drive, they did not have a DVD drive of any sorts. So what made it a little annoying was when you went to go to reinstall something like Windows, or wanted to upgrade to something like Windows XP, it would be where you need a DVD drive, rather external, internal, whatever, which was a bit of a pain for these older systems. Even just trying to use this just for like a couple days, just to see how it would act, just be like, was quite a pain in the butt. So, let's try to be totally honest. If the system doesn't work afterwards, I really wouldn't care. Unless somebody wanted it in the service area, then just, yeah, again, if you want it and you're in the service area, let me know. Hit me up. And drop it off. Drive it over, drop it off. Come pick it up, whatever. But anyway, enough about that. So now it is the second disk drive. And this is a CD drive. What I'm putting in now, this is a CD drive. The other one's a DVD drive now. Now it's a CD drive. So now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to screw in the CD drive. So while taking this apart, this DVD drive, or the DVD drive on the bottom had 4 total, where this one only had 2 total. So now this is going to be quite a bit of a pain. Put this in for some reason. That might be a different screw. I'm just going to grab different screws here. Some of these screws might be a little different then. So, God, gosh damn it. Not again. Okay, so. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to lay this down, I think. So this video might be called me trying to struggle on building this stupid computer. But there is really nothing else to this computer except for frustration and nostalgia. Before I was born, nostalgia too. So this computer is older than I am, which is kind of weird to think about. But but it's true. So, like I said, yeah, this one screw here had a, so this one thing had a computer had a thing of kind of where when I went to go and take it apart that the DVD drive or the CD drive, the one I'm putting in right now, only had 2 screws, 1 or 2 on one side, and then the DVD drive had the normal all 4 with the 2 on each side. So it is. Me only putting in a couple of screws, or 2 screws, is perfectly normal. So, this better not go on me. So, now that is done, so now we're going to move on to the floppy drive. So, this was the same thing as these disk drives where there's only 2, one on one side things. So it's annoying that this was in the top slot. So this is going to be a little bit of a pain to get in. So I think with this floppy drive here, though, I think I'm going to do 1 on each side, even though there's only 2 on one side and that's it. In this system, I think I'm going to just end up doing 1 on each side. If you want this to be able to be held in place securely. These floppy drives are like kind of like the different earlier generation of the hard drive. It's kind of like floppy drive was before the hard drive. So now I don't really have to be putting this floppy drive in because of the simple fact is that the floppy drive, that there was no like power connector going to this floppy drive, or there was no data. It was only power, so I'm not even going to be hooking it into power. It's just going to be for nostalgia, and that's it. Again, like what I said before birth nostalgia. So gosh damn it. Well, I think I am just going to put 2 in this side, because the other side, as I will show you actually, is kind of like a weird thing where it's kind of like it's the motherboard tray, and then you have to like kind of like slip like a thin screwdriver through there. So it was a pain to get because both of these screws were on the other side, so it was kind of a pain to get them off. So the next step, we're getting close. Yay. The next step is the hard drive, which I have to just double check and make sure that which way this hard drive bay goes in, which is like that. So hard drive is going to have to go in like this, which I will put in actually at the bottom slot, because I am going to actually put in 2 hard drives. So there's a hard drive in a drawer here. It is just a 4 GB IDE drive that has nothing on it. So why not? Let's put it in there. Let's have 2 hard drives and see if it works. Now these hard drives are a little bit of a different screw. They're just kind of, they're like pretty much the exact same type of screw. They just have like a flat head to them. tape thing. He's not it. So with these hard drives, there's going to be one on each side. There's not going to be anything like... I know that's not the proper way to do it, but it's the whole point of I have other stuff to get accomplished today. So I'm just trying to kind of just try to get the rest of this video done as soon as I can now. Oh, damn it. So, you know, there's one drive, and then now I need one more in here. So, the second hard drive was... Sorry, the camera kicked off. Can only record up to 30 minutes apparently. So now I will turn around and get these, hurry up and finish getting these screws in here before it shuts off on me again. So we can get this video finished. So having fun right now. You having fun at home or doing whatever you're doing right now once this video is released? I hope you are, because I am having quite a bit of fun right now. Slide these in here now, so now this will go slide it in and then click into place. We're starting to get pretty close to being done here. So now that that's in, now we have to start hooking up IDE and power cables. So I'm going to hook up this one and this one. As you know, IDE cables need, or no, this cable's going to have to go where there is a one here. These ones are meant to be for the ones at the top here. So one here and one here. And then now there should be two IDE cable things here. So there's going to be one plugged into the bottom one, like this, and then one plugged into the top drive after this one is put in here. Okay, what the heck is going on in here right now? This is actually getting very frustrating now. By the way, you guys should let me know if I should do one of these like fully live. Like you want to see me actually do like a full computer build fully, or even like a full teardown and as well as a rebuild, like live, like actual live. I think that would be pretty fun. That's something I should do one day. I'd take quite a bit of equipment though. I need a webcam for my laptop, or I need to use my laptop webcam or something, because I need to be able to go live on because I can go live on my phone, because I don't have enough subscribers yet. Or something, I don't even know, but it just says something about that. I can't go live on YouTube on my phone anymore because of change of policy or something. I don't know. I never really paid attention. I'm just like, as long as I can go live on the computer, I don't really care. So it's kind of like what I based everything on from there out. So. And one thing I'm actually going to stop the video for is trying to find the correct power button adapter thing, because I regret not taking a photo for that or anything. That was very dumb of me to do that, so that's going to be, that is not going to be in the video of me trying to find that, so, because that would just be a pain in the butt. I have to film doing that, so. So now that's just the last IDE cable. Now we want to put in the SATA adapters here, or the SATA cables. So there's one, or the Molex, not SATA, but. And that can go back in there. For some reason that isn't staying in there. There we go. There's one, and there is the other one. I should probably be putting this bottom one in here. So we're gonna just put that in there like that. Put that in there. Okay. So what's next? Oh yeah. So now that is done, we are going to install the sound card. So I'm going to just slide this into the very bottom slot here. It's kind of like an expansion card slot of some sort. Before, like the before times, like in the very old towers, like this one for example, they never actually had built-in sound cards. You always have to add them yourself, which I can see in many cases being a very, just like a Galileo for like money type thing. People trying to get money out of people building computers. Definitely, I could definitely see that being a major problem with that kind of stuff. Just because of the simple fact of sound cards were, I heard that sound cards were pretty pricey back in the day. Especially when they first became a thing. So wouldn't be surprised if this was just kind of like just trying to take people's money back then. Card in, so now we need this card doesn't really need to go in. It's like a modem type thing. I'm just gonna put this in just cause I don't want it laying around. So who knows, maybe somebody might want to buy it if I posted it online or something. Who knows? To put. Oh gosh, damn it. What the hell is that magnet to? Being attached to with magnets. I don't know. But I think we are going to have to not to wrap the video up, but to get to where we're going to have to cut here. This is getting a little too long now. This is already going to probably be about 40 minutes or more. Okay, I'm going to have to pause the video now because this is getting pretty long, and I will... Actually, no, it's only been 7 minutes. Never mind. I'm going to just have to put this screw back in here. This is being quite a pain to get in there. It is. Oh God. Gosh damn it. Son of a bee. There we go. Okay, you know what? After the screwdriver, we're going to just keep trying with our hands here. Why is this not going in there? Ah, son of a bee. modems anymore. Or actually, I know this is not going to be considered a proper gaming PC build then. Or not gaming PC, but just a normal PC build. But we're just going to ignore that screw, the fact that that screw is not going in, and just going to leave it out. And now we are going to, this should be relatively easy, this one. I'm assuming I spoke way too damn soon, didn't I? Of course I did. Okay, have to put this. Oh, my hair. I need to get a freaking haircut or something. Hair in my eye. Ah, god damn it. Get back on there. Let's try a different screw. I know that they're mostly the same, but let's try one that's not as, that doesn't look as stripped, maybe. There we go. So now it's just the fact of trying to get these cables in check here for the front audio or front panel. And then afterwards, it's attaching the front panel afterwards, actually. So I'm going to stop the video here while I'm trying to do this stuff, and I will be back once it is done. So I've successfully found the power switch, so I'm going to just show you guys right now that this will turn on now. I'll just automatically turn itself on. Everything works, DVD drive works. That works. So, now it's the part, now we need to get these the front panel back on, and the sides and the top back on. So, the front panel just kind of just clips in like that, two big clips. Four big clips, I guess. Oh, four, because there's two at the top there. This is pretty much just the run down this freaking empty sidewalk difficulty at this point. Kind of just putting the computer back together, or the case back together, and that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna get the other side panels here. So as the top panel. So here we go. So one side panel. I'm assuming this just goes on like this. Which I will probably need the screwdriver. Yeah, I'm gonna need screwdrivers. So that's the whole part of putting oh my goodness, this is kind of I might have talked too soon about ease of this, but gosh damn it. These screws, I think these stupid screws for these things are a little different. Oh, no, never mind. It just was kind of like my hand. Oh, God damn it. Come on. Wish I could lay it down, but it's not the smartest idea to lay down this tower, especially when it's the bare motherboard on the other side. Come on. Come on, it was going so well. Okay, let's try the front thing here. It's the same thing. What the heck, Alyssa? Is it like, see each side panel different? I think each side panel might be a little different here. So I'm going to try this side panel here. This is the other side panel. I think it is, because this one's not even wanting to go in at all. Come on there. Get in there. Oh wow, what the heck is this side panel doing? I think the side panel's bent. Oh no, this is meant for the other side, never mind. So this is the right side. Actually no, because this was going on backwards, so. What? Huh. No. So it is, this is the side. So they are actually supposed to be, they actually are, each one is different. Just the type of screw shouldn't really make a difference though. Okay. Oh, this is getting very annoying here. Okay, might have to cut to get this. Okay, I'm gonna cut and get this in. So the case is on. Turns out that all those other screws were like stripped or something. Like I tried with another computer that I had. Oh wow, my hands are dirty from dust. I'll have to clean them. But just kind of like just they wouldn't go. The screws wouldn't go in there. I have no idea why. But anyways, I'm going to clean all the computer dust off my hands and going to get a monitor, keyboard, and mouse for this thing, and we will find out together if she still works. I'll be back. So we are completed the setup. Everything is set up. Mouse, keyboard is all hooked up, as you can see right there. And now I'm going to just plug it in and turn it on. Let's see if she boots. Oh, just turned itself on. Let's see. So far, nothing. Uh-oh, we might have broke it. I might have broke it. Oh well. Fun project anyways. So that's the conclusion. It is done for now, but I probably can fix it. I just don't really have the time for it. So that was fun. So that is going to do it for me in this video. That was a very long but fun project. Unfortunately, the computer does not post or work as of right now. I might look into it a little bit. If somebody just wants it just to, I don't know, try to get it to post or have your own little project for YouTube or something, let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for me in this video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. So, hello everybody, and today I am going to be walking you guys through a tutorial on how to install macOS 10.12 Sierra on a virtual machine with virtualization VMware. Let's get started. So first, I should get this out of the way first, is of the requirements of a system. Now, with virtualization, your computer needs to be able to run both
both the virtualization operating system, so in our case macOS 10.12, as well as Windows in the background. Now you don't. It's kind of like you have to leave certain resources, like half the CPU, half the RAM, to Windows. I noticed that I tried it out at the most, and I was able to do 1.5 gigs left over for Windows before starting to have issues. So rather than that, that is about it on the resources side. So I'm going to show you here that I have 8 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM with an Intel Pentium CPU. Now, this CPU is not entirely powerful. It's enough to get the job done, but it's definitely has some issues here. So, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 7. You have to actually, you're gonna want to have to pay attention while doing it as well when you're checking your RAM to see if there's a little box saying 7.88 gigabytes usable, for example. Now, on my laptop, it doesn't have this issue like this that I am aware of. I've never noticed it, at least. Maybe I should be doing this on my laptop. But anyways, the CPU pretty much it's kind of like it's better it would be with a quad core than a dual core. So I'm going to pull up Task Manager here quick, and then we can check our resources here. So if I go up to CPU, change grid to logical. Yeah, so it's only a dual core. This is a dual core CPU. So my laptop's a quad core, so this will probably work a lot better on my laptop because of with VMware I actually let macOS take both cores over. So if I'm doing basic stuff like looking up on Safari or opening up like some sort of program that only works on Mac kind of thing will work. But as soon as you open something up like iMovie, the whole thing's just going to crash because the copy macOS thinks that it can do whatever it wants to the CPU, so it's going to try to take the CPU above 100%, which will end up causing the computer to crash. I know this because of I got the blue screen when I tried to open something like iMovie, and had to actually end up resetting the virtual machine afterwards, which I didn't expect to have to do that, but I'm going to walk you guys through the whole process on how to create a virtual machine. So if that does happen, you can easily redo it. So let's get to it. So first things first is you're going to want to go to Google Chrome here. Oh yeah, one more thing I should be mentioning here is that you're going to want to have quite a bit of free space. It takes at least 30 some gigs just to get macOS installed and get some of the basics cores going. So as you can see, I have a 1 terabyte hard drive that's specifically meant for VM virtualization. As you can see, I have a couple of different virtualizations. Also have Windows 8 for malware downloading, which I actually will show you guys in a different video that will probably be uploaded right behind on how to load a second copy of Windows for if you want to download like Windows XP or something and you're afraid of getting a virus. Then if you get a virus on your VM, it's not the end of the world. You just delete it and redo it. So that's going to be in another video though. So next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to Google. You're going to want to search for macOS X 10.12 VMDK download. But actually what you're going to want to do first is you're going to want to go to VMware. So you're going to want to go to virtual machine and going to want to download VM Workstation Player. Now all the downloads will be down in the description of the video. So this is a version of VMware Workstation. Now, if you do a virtual machine Workstation Pro, I've noticed that it can get a little bit confusing. So you have to make sure it says player. Because with player, you can. Now, with the player, it is free, but you have to pay if you're going to use it for any business use. So if you're going to use it in like where you're going to have one computer with multiple virtual machines and kind of like spread them out with like different low end computers and have one higher end computer, like even something like an HP Complex, which is what I'm using right now. Even one of these would actually be able to handle that if there was only one or two running at the same time, type thing. But you're gonna have to watch out for the the player, because the player you can use it for free if you don't. But if you use the free version, then you're not gonna have any of those functions for spreading it out to different computers over virtualization. You will only be able to use it on your single machine. And VMware Workstation Pro is just pretty much the exact same thing, but you have to pay in order to use it, period. So you're going to need that. And then after that, you can go to Mac. You can search Mac OS X 10.12 VMKD download file. Now, I tried a lot of multiple websites, and a couple of them actually downloaded them in a corrupt way. I don't know why it did that, so I'm actually going to go to my downloads. I'm going to go to, if I go here, it's going to start downloading again. I will have this link right in the description below, and then this will actually just have the computer instantly download it. As soon as you click the link, it will open a new tab, download, and it'll just take you right back to like YouTube or wherever you're watching this. So that would be simple enough. No clicking anything. All you have to do is click the link and it will automatically download. So next, what you're going to want to do once that is downloaded is copying it over to a different drive. If you're going to have multiple hard drives like what I am, it will be in the downloads folder to begin with. But I don't have anything here because it's already copied over. But if you will want to, if you want to actually give your computer like 128 gig, like kind of like a MacBook Air type amount of space, I would, to the extreme, recommend another drive. Now, I am using my default drive, this drive, for the Windows the virus Windows thing that I will make another video about more in depth. Just because of all I have to it is 32 gigs of storage, because all I want is Google Chrome and download something that could be dangerous. Anyway, I'm back on topic here. So as you can see, macOS Sierra is right here. Now it is a pretty big file at 6.26 gigs. Or 24 gigs, 6.24 gigs, sorry. So once you have that downloaded, now what you're going to want to do is, after you install VMware, got to remember that as well. You have to install VMware first. You're going to want to double click VMware. Then you're going to want to go to, then you're going to actually want to go back home. And then you're going to want to click create a new virtual machine. Actually, what I should do is I'm going to delete macOS 10.12. No, I don't want to delete it, but I do want to delete it. Delete it from disk. Yes. So if I do that, create new virtual machine. Gonna want to click on install disk image file. Gonna want to click on macOS Sierra. Just click on open. It's going to pop up with that. I'm gonna click next. Gonna want to tell it that it's Apple macOS X. It's gonna ask what version. In our case, it is macOS 10.12. I'm gonna want to click next. And then you're gonna want to click a location. So that is my name. And now I'm just going to click on if I go VMware Drive here, I'm going to have to create a new folder. So, gonna create a. So now what you're gonna want to do is, unless you want to have it on your C drive, I'm not holding you against the C drive approach, but I want to have it installed on a completely different partition here. So it is. So this is macOS 10.12.6. So I'm gonna make a folder called that. Close out of there. Gonna want to go here, and you're gonna click on the folder till it's highlighted, and you're gonna click OK. And you're gonna want to click next. Now this is kind of where you're gonna. So it's saying recommended size of 40 gigs. It will automatically just do the bare minimum that the OS is saying is recommended. But I'm gonna go 128 gigabytes. You could say store virtual disk as a single file, or split virtual disk on the multiple files. So like it would be the actual install and then the installer that you will see in a moment in two different files. I'm just gonna keep it like that. So it's gonna ask of what you want to do: 120 gig split, 2 gigabytes RAM. We do not want 2 gigabytes RAM. So if we go customize hardware, we're gonna go to 4 gigs of RAM. So 4.0.1 it looks like. Now you can actually turn around and you can push it to all the way up to 8 gigs, but I do not recommend that. So we're going to just keep it at 4 gigs. I'm going to go close. I'm going to click finish. So it's going to pop up with macOS 10.12. I'm going to click play virtual machine. That's going to do that, and then boot into Windows. Going to go into full screen here, and just going to wait for it to boot. Now, something you're going to want to keep in mind here is that, like kind of what I said before, I'm going to go over a little bit briefly of what I was saying before about the whole, about the hardware configuration. Now, macOS Sierra that I know of will run on 2 gigabytes of RAM, but barely. So if you're going to go with Sierra or higher, I will be making another video in the future. I just don't have the current hardware to do it right at this moment. For macOS 11 Big Sur, I want to do something for that as well at some point. I just will have to do all that extra steps and stuff, like getting a computer that can actually handle it and stuff. But we're going to focus on Sierra right now. Once you see the little beach ball spinning, it means that it is getting close. We are booted. So the next thing is you're going to want to keep in mind is that it depends on your computer. It's going to be slow. So right now, it is using both of my CPU cores, probably pegging it at 100% most likely. Actually, we could check that right now. If I go click start, go task manager, and we can turn around and check our CPU core here. Yeah, we're about at 68%, just installing macOS 10 here. So this is VMware is taking 0%. That is not true. So we're gonna go close here. I want to go back. Use English for pick your language. Click next. Give it a moment here. So next you're going to want to click on utilities. Disk utility. Then you're going to want to click on this VM virtual SATA hard drive media. Click on erase. Call it whatever you want. I'm gonna call it Mac OS. Click erase. Done. Click close. Click accept. Continue. Agree. And now click on this and click install. So now this is going to take about 15 to 20 minutes to install. It's not going to take as long as Hackintosh will. So I will be right back once this is done.
Well, I'm going to stop you right there. So I missed a step when filming. So you're most likely, rather macOS is not going to show up when you're selecting the OS, or you're going to get an error while trying to boot it. In that case, you're going to have to go to Unlock Master and go to wininstall.cmd, right click, run as administrator. In this case, I'm going to have to say no, unfortunately, because it's already done. It would screw everything up. But if you say yes, it will open command prompt and just let it do its thing. It will close automatically when it is complete. And then VMware has to be closed while this is working, or you could cause issues. Anyway, sorry about that. Back to the video.
So we are back and it is installed. So now we can go through this startup. So I'm going to go Canada. Yes, keyboard. Do not transfer anything now. Enable location services. Sign in with your Apple ID. I'm going to say don't sign in. You can sign in. It will work. Well, it should anyway. We'll say somewhere on that list that rather if it will work or not. I was told that it would, but we'll find out. So I'm gonna need to type in username, password. If you go to continue, it's going to say create an account. So just give it a minute here. Continue. Setting up your Mac. To load here. This may take a couple minutes, so just let it do its thing. It may go black for a bit, but that's okay. And there we go, you're in macOS. So it's going to be a little slow, like it's going to be kind of like Hackintosh. It's going to be a little bit slow. As you can see by there. Oof. Okay, this is worse than what it was before. Probably just computer might be doing something wonky in the background, but you gotta remember though that this is a low-end computer that I am doing this on, so it is. So if you do this on like a higher end computer, like a gaming computer or a computer with like even like 10 or 12 gigs of RAM, even it should work fine. So we go build this Mac. You can see it will say 4 gigabytes of RAM, Mac OS, 3 gigabytes of RAM, serial number, virtual machine, pretty much. It's Mac. Display. Some of these displays are it's not gonna read some stuff properly. Memory 4 gigabytes installed. Yeah, I do not have 127 slots free. I only have 4 slots in the computer, but anyway, it's gonna do that. And if you go, through this stuff. So that is about it. So everything will just work right out of the box, like Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi will just show up like Ethernet. I am connected to Ethernet right now, but I did have a Wi-Fi card plugged in before, and it worked. So this actually may not fully work for you. You may, here I'm just gonna shut down the VM here. You may get a error that's saying that there's something disabled. So I will gonna walk you guys through how to do that now.
So the next part of if you get an error saying that there is something in the CPU disabled, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to turn on the system, and you're going to want to go into the BIOS by pressing F2, F10, or F12. Some computers may even have it as delete. So once you're in the BIOS, what you're going to want to do is go over to security, go down to system security, and you're going to see virtualization technology. It's enabled already for me, but if you're getting the errors, that means it is disabled and you are going to want to enable it. So after that, you're going to want to click accept, which is F10 for me, but it may be enter for you. And then say changes and exit. And then now the computer will reboot and you will be good to go. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace. Hello, today I'm going to be walking you guys through an installation of macOS High Sierra via Hackintosh on this HP Contemplex, I believe. I don't know how to say that properly, but small form factor PC. So all the links required will be down below in the description. Let's get started. So, sorry for the discoloration in the scans. I have to use a CRT monitor because my other monitor is being used for a different video. But I am going... So what we're going to need for this tutorial is Hackintosh High Sierra Zone, uTorrent, which is not installed on this computer, but again, I will leave links to everything down below in the description. We'll also need an application called Transmac. Now, the latest version of Transmac, when you go to download, it says the version is corrupted, so I will leave a link to a Google Docs and or Google Drive, so you can download the version I have that actually works right here. The exact same version I have on my computer right now. And you will also need a thumb drive with at least 16 gigabytes of storage. Now, this is a little bit overkill. It's 128 gigabyte SanDisk USB drive. You can go, yeah, you need at least 16 gigabytes. USB 2 or 3 will work. I recommend USB 3 for way faster install and download speeds. So I'm going to hop over to OBS on the computer, and I will show you what to do from there.
So now that we are on the PC, now I am going to go and show you the link that so first off, you want to go to Google. I'm using Google Chrome. You can use any web browser. I'm going to go to Google, or not Google, Hackintosh.zone. So this is going to pop up, but if you scroll down, you'll see all the way from Lion all the way up to the latest Catalina of Hackintosh. So this tutorial is going to specifically include for High Sierra, so we're going to click that. So it is going to do that. There also is going to be support for AMD support. I am doing it on an Intel Pentium machine, but AMD support this will work with certain AMD computers. I know that I have a AMD laptop that doesn't really like this very much, but when I find the proper way to do it, I will make a video about how to install Hackintosh on AMD. Right now we're going to focus on Intel though. So you will have to say download from the Hackintosh shop. Agree and download. Now since I already have it downloaded, I'm not going to download it again, but you can go the Hackintosh High Sierra installer only, or Intel only, or Intel plus AMD. You will need to create a free account in order to download this. But yeah, so I already have that downloaded, and I have an account. It's just for some reason logged me out. So now what you're going to need to do after that's downloaded, it's about 6 gigs, so it will depend on your Wi-Fi, on how fast it will download. It may take a while, it may not. But next you're going to want to open Transmac. Actually, you're going to want to open Transmac as administrator. And then you're going to want to wait 10 seconds. And this is now you're going to want to plug in your thumb drive. I already have it all set up, so it's going to tell me I need to format the disk. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say run. And now what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to right click on the thumb drive you want to use. So for me it would be the SanDisk Ultra. You go restore with disk image. Yes. Select disk, click on select disk image. Go to your, it will be in your downloads, but in my case it's on the desktop because I moved it over there. Gonna want to click on Hackintosh Zone High Sierra installer .dmg. Open it. We'll click OK. You are about to overwrite your thumb drive. Back up any data if you have information on it. You will want to back up. But I am not going to do this because I already have it all done, and it takes quite a while. This will take probably 20-30 minutes. If you have a USB 2, it might even take longer. I'm going to say no. I'm going to close out. So that is about it on the Windows PC side. I will also create a version on how to do this on Mac. There are a couple things you will have to do on a MacBook as well. You can also do it on Windows if you format a drive with FAT32. Again, I'm gonna leave the links all down in the description for MultiBeast. That I don't have that downloaded, and I don't remember the link as of right now. But the link will be in the video description once everything is done. So that is it. Now I am going to go over and show you what you have to do from the BIOS, and also how to boot Hackintosh High Sierra. So now we are into the BIOS. While the computer's off right now, I have to still boot into the BIOS. So if you give me a second here, I'm going to have to move you guys a bit up. As soon as you turn your computer on, you're going to want to spam F9. If you have an HP, if you have an Acer, it would be F2, and if you have a Dell, it would be F12. And then you're going to want to pick on, it should say somewhere around here, SanDisk in the EFI boot sources. So you're going to want to go down and click on that. Actually, no, sorry. What you're going to want to do first is you're going to want to, so just let me Control and delete off of here. First, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into the BIOS, which for me is Escape. I'll zoom out here. It's Escape. And then F10 afterwards. I'm going to do that. And then what you're going to want to do afterwards is
you're going to want to go to system information. Here, I'll zoom out here. Oops. System, set date and time. Then you're going to want to turn around and set this to anytime. You're going to want to set this to any date and time, but you will want to set it to 2018. I don't know why, but Hackintosh High Sierra for some reason will not install with the latest date and time of 2020. I don't know if it's just a patch that Apple did or what, because it's the same thing with with Hackintosh Cortana and Mojave, where you have to set it back to 2018 or early 2019 for it to boot. So now what you're going to want to do after is you're going to want to go to apply or save changes and exit. Now after you do that, then you're going to want to spam on F9. Until you see the SanDisk. Once you see the SanDisk, you're going to want to go down and press enter. Then it's going to do this, and then after this, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to press enter on Boot macOS from Hackintosh High Sierra installer. Then just give it a couple minutes here for it to boot. I will be back once it is booted, because it will take a couple minutes. So after about text for about 30 seconds, a minute, sometimes 2 minutes, just depends on your system, you should turn around and find yourself at the language. You should see an Apple logo appear briefly, and you should be at the English startup. So you're going to want to click your preferred English or language. Mine's English. You're going to want to give it a second here to load. Then you're going to want to go continue. And now before you click anything else, you're going to want to go up to utilities, and you want to go to disk utility. Then you're going to want to go to, there should be, if you go here, go to, no, show all drives. There you go. Mine's going to be a Parrot Boost Media 120 gig SSD. That's where I'm going to format it to. I'm going to name it to Hack and Tosh SSD. You're going to want to format it to these settings here. GPT partition map and macOS extended. Once you do that, you're going to want to click erase. It's going to take a couple seconds to do it. After that, you're going to want to click exit. Now you're just going to want to, here, I'll zoom you guys out here. Now you're going to want to turn around and click continue. Yes, I agree. Then you're going to want to click on install Hackintosh from SSD. Click on customize. You don't have to do anything here, but I've noticed that sometimes it will turn around and say that Hackintosh Zone needs to be installed, or it will not let you install macOS. It will install, but it won't let you boot. So just click on customize and double check and make sure that that is selected. Once you know for a fact that it's selected, click accept. It's going to take about, here, set it there. It's going to take about 12.69 gigabytes of data. Now you're going to want to click continue. Now it says it's going to take about 13 minutes, but trust me, it takes a lot longer. It took, when I was testing out for this video, it took about a half an hour, if not more, even though it's going to say about 12 minutes. So I will be back once macOS is installed. It's going to take quite a while, so I will be back in about half an hour. So it's been probably a little bit over 2 hours. I started recording at like 1 when I first started the install, and it is now almost 4 o'clock. And this still has a few seconds remaining. So when this is done here, and less than a minute it says, so it's probably going to be more like a couple minutes still. I will walk through the next step once this is done. So as you can see now, the Mac is set up, or setting up. Well, it's actually a Windows computer, it's not a Mac, but. So it's going to be a little slow when you first boot up. That is because you're going to have to set up some drivers, so. I'm just looking for my keyboard here. Just say done, and there we go. So you're gonna have to set up. I'm gonna have to set up some drivers. But to do that, we're gonna have to go to a real MacBook. See, I don't have it. The only thing I have that works is Bluetooth, because it's the only thing I have that actually works right now. That doesn't require any drivers and is compatible with macOS. So I will be back on a real Mac.
So now we are on the MacBook, and I will show you the multi-beast. So you're going to want to open Google Chrome. You want to go to multi-beast 10.4.0 is what you'll need. Again, this will be all in the description. You'll need to click on it. Again, you will need to create an account with TonyMac86.com in order to download Multi-Beast 10.4.0 High Sierra. That's what you need. And another thing you might not necessarily need, but if you ever need it, you will have to get it through here as well, is any drivers for your Wi-Fi card. So if you have certain types of Wi-Fi cards or anything like that, you will need to get them as well. So, no, whoops, click that wrong. So now we're gonna have to go. So now you have to copy this over to there. Actually, no, that's the wrong version. Never mind. This is like beta version 10.3.0 High Sierra. You need 10.4.0 High Sierra. So, what the heck's going on, Multi-Beast? I'm sorry for the Wi-Fi being slow right now. Multi-Beast High Sierra. So I want to download Multi-Beast High Sierra 10.4.0. Let that finish. There, now that's done. So now you need to take a thumb drive. This is not the same one you use for Hackintosh. You will need another thumb drive, or you could create a partition on your thumb drive before flashing it as well if you need to. So just plug the thumb drive in here. Oh my goodness. There we go. So plug it in. Now give it a couple minutes for it to show up. Should show up after a little bit. There we go. So this I can just throw in the garbage. I don't need that anymore. But copy over Multi-Beast High Sierra. And now that is copied over, you'll need that as well as Clover Configurator. So you need to download Clover Configurator. So let's download this.
So now we are back on the Hackintosh. Just let me enter in my password here quick. There we go. So you gotta remember it is still slow because of the fact that we have not installed any drivers yet. And that is the whole point of the thumb drive that we just made on the MacBook. So now if I go here, so you can copy this stuff, 2 files over to the desktop. Put it to its thing. Gonna want to let this extract and unzip itself. And it will may unzip right underneath it. So I'm gonna open multi-beast. Gonna have to say open. Accept. And you wanna go to, you can use quick start if you want to. I don't want to do that. I want to go to, just already have that. I want to go to, I want to use Relic ACX, Optical 34 5.1, PGY 2000. So this is what I need. Disk, you can just leave it blank. This is fake as this you have to find out whatever your wireless is. Mine is Intel Ethernet and as well as Wi-Fi. And I will actually click one of these just in case too. I'm not sure. USB leave blank. You just say Intel HD 6000X because that is the only option I look at. Then the rest of this you can just, I will turn it around and I will ask it to think that it is an iMac 14.1. And then I will say install. I will say agree. You're going to need to enter in your password. Sorry if you can hear that, that is the computer fan ramping up. It needs some of these thermal paste and I know I haven't added it yet. Ordered it, it's on the way. So, this will take a minute and I will be back once it is done. So that is it. After about a quick reboot, after it is saying install successful, after a quick reboot, you should be good to go. You may have those same issues as I was talking about earlier before with the boot failed, waiting 10 seconds before sleep, or it's whatever it says. I know it says something like that. You may experience that issue, and if that's the case, just kind of turn off the computer and turn it back on 4 or 5 times. Remember, you have to boot from USB. No, I don't have any current way to boot to a external drive. The only thing I know is that you can actually create a thumb drive and copy the EFI boot files over, which I could make a short video about that if you want to see it. I probably will do it anyways without you guys commenting or anything. And I am going to do the same video at some point where you create the thumb drive on a Mac. So it is a bit more tricky, but thanks for anger management. I will see you in the next one. Hello. Today I am going to talk about Apple's One More Thing event happening today at 10 a.m. and what to expect. Let's get started. So as some of you might know, if you're tech enthusiast or you follow Apple, that Apple has a event happening today at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And we can kind of, I wanted to kind of talk about what to expect of this event today. So one of the things known for this event is the new MacBooks coming out. So we are rumored to get a MacBook Pro and some sort of Air with some sort of Apple A14, more powerful A14 type chip that they have in the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro. But the problem is that some people are concerned about is that if the MacBook is going to lose a lot of power because of this. This is going to pretty much mean the end of the road for stuff like Hackintosh, which is... No, really, I don't really care about that. I do enjoy doing Hackintoshes, but they're such a pain to deal with. It's not even funny. So, macOS Catalina is the latest Hackintosh you can do at this time, and the creators of Hackintosh are saying that people will be lucky to see a macOS Big Sur in like even 5 years from now. So it is going to hit the community really hard when it comes to people that love and enjoy the build Hackintosh, people that kind of just enjoy Intel, all that stuff. Now, one thing with the new MacBook and MacBook Pros and MacBook Air of some sort that's supposed to be coming out today, according to all the rumors, is the fact of that one of the models, not both of the models, will be fanless because of, I think they're calling it, I don't even know what they're calling it, I think the U1 chip or something like that. I know it's just supposed to be pretty much the A14 found on the new iPhones, but supposed to be at a much higher clock speed with about the same die size as the current Intel Core i5 processor. Now, this raises the question for personally myself for a couple things. Number one, is the MacBooks going to be thinner than what they are right now? Now, I don't believe they will be. The MacBook Air is already pretty darn thin. And the MacBook Pro, well, yeah, a little bit thicker because it has a dedicated GPU and stuff as well. But in my opinion, I don't think that they'll make the MacBooks any thinner because the simple fact is that I don't have my hands on a MacBook Pro with USB-C. But the thing is that the MacBook Air, which is the model I actually have my hands on with USB-C ports only, is the MacBook itself, by the logic board and fan area, where the CPU and everything is already as thin as the USB-C port can get. Now, it is something else that, I know this is a little bit off topic, but one thing I don't get is how they remove the headphone jack off the iPhones, thinking, oh, well, we can make our phones thinner then, and then here's the MacBook Air as thin as USB-C port, and there's a damn headphone jack. That makes no sense to me. But anyway, back on topic, Apple is kind of just like an FU emoji all the time to everybody, but I personally think that the main focus on their event happening today is the discontinuation of Intel chips in the MacBooks and going over to their own Apple Silicon CPU and or GPU. Well, they're doing the CPU for sure, but I actually don't know about the GPU. That's actually something that I actually had not seen that many rumors on, if they're going to ditch AMD graphics yet or not. That'd be interesting to see. But I will be going live after this event, and we'll be going over the event that is happening today at 10 a.m. And then I will be live afterwards to talk about the event. So that is going to be fun. But that, yeah, it's not even going to be for another couple hours, but that is pretty much what we could expect from this event. There's also rumors going around that there might also be some sort of foldable iPhone. Now, I very, very highly doubt that. Apple is known for kind of trying or kind of like ignoring those, like the foldable phones and all that stuff. And then 2 years later, and like 2 years from now, they'll probably bring one out saying it's our own design and all this stuff. We created it. All that bull crap like that, like what they did with the freaking first iPhone, pretty much. In a few ways. And over the software, years of software updates, adding widgets and stuff saying it's our new widgets. We created it when Androids have it since Android 2, but whatever. Anyway, that's probably what you could expect in this next Apple event happening right now. I will be making a video, if not going live, talking about these events. And I hope to see you guys at the live stream. Peace.
Going to check and see if I'm live. No. Okay. So, hello. I am live again. The last time it kind of just froze on me, so I ended up deleting the live stream. So now we're going to try this a second time. So today I am going to go over the Apple Live event and everything that happened at their event that happened today. So I have notes here. Did everything. And the first thing that happened that is probably known to everybody is the M1 chip was announced for the new Macs. So MacBook Air, MacBook Pro 13-inch, and Mac Mini all have the silicone, the Apple Silicon, or M1 chip. So another thing that they're saying that all that the MacBooks have is better battery life, between 17 and 20 hours of battery life, due to the M1 chip not being as power hungry when in just web browsing or video watching or like movie watching type thing. But I'm assuming it's extremely power hungry when it comes to probably video editing and stuff. They said at the event that video editing is now doable on the MacBook Air and can be kind of like almost like pretty much almost like the iMac Pro, between the iMac Pro and the Mac Pro in performance wise, and that's just on the Air. That's not even the 13-inch or the Mini. But I don't believe that, and I won't believe that until I see it, to be honest. Another thing that they're saying is that the MacBook Pro now has a new mic, as well as a better camera feed and camera resolution, because of the M1 chip is driving it in some sort of way. So it's like kind of pretty much like an upscale in a way, so they don't have to spend more money to upgrade the webcam, which is, I don't want to say bullcrap, but I also don't want to say that it's revolutionary or anything like that either. So another thing is that all these new Macs have Wi-Fi 6 built into them, as well as Thunderbolt 4. USB 4, Thunderbolt. Now, if I talk and go back to the chip, more information about the M1 chip is that it is on a 5nm chip, process chip. And it has 16 billion transistors. And it has a new style of GPU that is 3 times more powerful than Intel, according to their testing. Again, I'm not going to believe that until I see it. But they also say that the GPU, the GPU is built in to the M1 chip. So now there's not a whole separate CPU and then GPU separate chip. It's all in one chip now. Another thing that I could talk about is the software elephant in the room, which is the macOS 11 Big Sur. So this OS has been perfectly redesigned. As you can see, it's like pretty much from iOS, from like iOS 6 to 7 and iOS 9 to 12 type thing. It's kind of like in between those two big jumps, and kind of just the way everything will look. Available on the 12th of November. So available the day after Remembrance Day, which is the 12th. There is also the refresh dock kind of notification, just like all the new kind of built-in stuff. Safari has been redesigned. With the ways how Safari's been redesigned, I personally could honestly maybe see myself using Safari over Google Chrome for basic tasks. But when it comes to like having more than like 3 tabs open at once, Safari just kind of looks crowded, and I don't really like that. So I could see if I'm doing single, maybe 2 tabs on Safari, I could see using Safari. But I think the rest of the time it would be macOS. I think it would not macOS. It would be Google Chrome. Safari backgrounds are customizable. There's more languages. So now there is translation. So you can say hello in the Siri or something, and then it will change around and say it to bonjour or something along those lines. Privacy report, just pretty much all their normal privacy stuff. It's might be big to some people, but to me it's not really. It's nice to have security, but too much security is just, it's a pain to have to deal with. Kind of if I scroll back up here a bit, they pretty much just took a book out of Google Maps pages, or a page of Google Maps books, and adds what they call 360 view when it's not. So these are all the Macs that it supports. So iMac of 2014 and later, MacBook Air of 2013 and later, MacBook Pro of late 2013 and later, iMac Pro of 2017 and later, so all models, of course. Mac Pro 2013 and later, MacBook of 2015 and later, and Mac Mini of 2014 and later. Now, I'm assuming that there's probably some sort of thing that somebody's going to make up where you can turn around and install macOS Big Sur on like 2009, 2010 iMac and MacBook Pro. There's already a bunch of those for macOS Catalina and stuff like that already. I'm pretty sure that you can actually already install, I think, the first beta 1 or beta 2 of Big Sur on old Macs already from, I think, 2010 and up, if I'm not mistaken. But that I don't know fully. Now I can go on to the thing of, oh yeah, new secure boot. So Apple has also released, this is mainly based on Big Sur, but it's also part of the M1 chip, where unless you replace the whole processor, so you have to replace the processor plus a couple of other little component type things in order to like break activation lock and all that stuff. Now recently, even with the T2 chip, you just replace the SSD with another MacBook SSD and it's pretty much just gone. So now activation lock is actually there, and unless you do board level hacking, you cannot get rid of activation lock, which I know with most people that will be awesome, but for people like me that forget their passwords sometimes quite a bit, it is kind of a pain to deal with that. But you just have to get used to it and hopefully remember your passwords. I'd recommend, or they're not a sponsor or anything, but LastPass I would highly recommend. I use it day to day. So another thing I can talk about is, well, that's pretty much kind of basic. Or so the new processor is ARM based processor. So kind of like the Snapdragon on kind of like the Snapdragon 845 on the S7 or S8. Pretty much just kind of like processors on phones, and now the new Mac processors as well as the iPhone processors are all ARM in the ARM based category. Sure, they don't require fans. Now I don't know. Don't remember them talking about having fans in the MacBook Air or Mac Mini, but I do know that the MacBook Pro apparently does still have a fan in it. Now, the pictures and stuff and the rendering and all that stuff that they did for the cooling system on for the MacBook Pro when they showed it off is just complete garbage. It's pretty much the exact same of what is on the it's pretty much what is on the MacBook right now based on cooling, and it's horrid. I've never seen cooling that bad. My MacBook Air overheats a lot. Um Even just doing basic tasks, like having two tabs open in Google Chrome, and it's just like overheating to the extreme, and can get very frustrating. So we're getting close to the end here. So, oh yeah, the emulation thing of kind of like they call it some sort of emulation or something. I don't even know what they call it. I think it's universal code, I think is what they call it, but it's pretty much where all apps on Intel will work on Mac, on the ARM Mac, as well as Mac OS Big Sur. Now, was my personal experience, I know that it was just a beta. I know that it was only a beta, but when I was back on, like, I think it was beta 6, 7, and 8, I had nothing but trouble where Google Chrome would launch half the time. I would always have issues of stuff crashing. So, in my opinion, I would probably turn around and I would hold off on updating the Big Sur until like 10.0.1 or 10 point or 11.1 or 11.0.1, something like that. But it's fully up to you if you want to take the risk or not. But another thing I could talk about, which is getting pretty close to the end here, is the M1, or is the prices of these new computers. Now, I have the US pricing here, but I can also pull it up for the Canadian pricing. So with the new MacBook Air, it is $1,299. That's before tax and before any upgrading. And then the US price is $999. The MacBook Pro is $1,299 US or $1,199 US for students in high school and or college that have like proof of that. In Canada, it is $16.99 for normally, or $15.99 if you are a student in high school or college. Now with the Mac Mini, I've seen quite a bit of a price drop actually. I don't know if it's the same with the States or if it's just I don't know if it's the same in Canada or just in the States, but US, it's gone down from $7.99 to $6.99, and it looks like $8.99 here. So it must have used to be $1,000 on Canadian, unless they never even down the price. One thing that I can point out that is been on everybody's mind, that is that everybody that does emulation and all that stuff would be happy. We have iPhone and iPad apps on Mac. With macOS Big Sur finally comes the ability to install iPhone and iPad apps on Mac. And I know they showed off like the iPhone version of Photoshop and Adobe Premiere, as well as Among Us. I don't remember if there was anything else that they showed off. I don't have it in my notes here anyways then. And as well as there's some sort of emulation on the M1 chip, so apps that don't natively have support, like uTorrent. Like if uTorrent gets an update to Big Sur but does not get a update for the M1 chip, it will still work with some sort of Intel emulation that the M1 chip can do on certain apps on with when the manufacturers or the developers of the app don't want to take advantage of the M1 chip. There is emulation for that. And I don't know if this is the Canadian date or the US dates, but the Macs have been released today and will be shipped by Friday, with the Mac Mini on Thursday. Oh yeah, one more thing I want to talk about, which is kind of the sadder part for people like me that like doing these kind of projects and stuff, is that Hackintosh is probably gone. Like, it's Apple has taken their silicone and their processors to the point where you can't really do stuff like Hackintosh anymore. I know you can. I know that they were saying that they might be able to do a beta of Big Sur on it. Like, I think they said beta 2 might work, but we'd have to wait and see. But I think if they are able to get Big Sur with Hackintosh, I'm pretty sure that it would most likely be the last Hackintosh to ever do it. The last operating system that Hackintosh would be able to run, which is, for people like me that like doing those projects, is kind of upsetting. Now, there's so many issues with Hackintosh, it's not even funny, but like, it's all the trouble I had to go through to get the Hackintosh working. It's working now, which is nice. But it's, yeah, kind of a pain. That is... Oh yeah, it's pretty much just the last thing I have here is just what they call the computers. So they're calling the computers like MacBook Air with M1, because it sounds like they're still going to be selling Intel chips on the MacBook Air, but from probably 2019 and lower, not the 2020. And it is the same with the Mac Mini and the MacBook Pro. Is now the M1 model of it is now the MacBook Air or MacBook Pro with M1, or Mac Mini with M1 chips. So that is about it. Just in case if I didn't mention it, that all apps on Intel will work on the M1 chip with emulation. In case I didn't mention that, which I'm pretty sure I did. So that is pretty much it. Yeah, I already talked about activation lock is finally on the Mac, where you have to do board level repair or board level hacking in order for it to actually work now. So now what people are probably wondering that are watching this live stream, or will, is that what is my personal opinion on the M1 chip? Now, with my opinion on the M1 chip is it's good. I can't say it's great. I can't say it's horrible. I'm just going to take Apple's word for it, as well as people like Linus Tech Tips, Austin Evans, I Justine, all those people. I'm going to take their words for it until I can finally eventually get my hands on a Mac with Apple Silicon M1 chip inside of it. So that is pretty much going to do it for me in this live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Hello, William Matthews here, and today I'm going to talk about the iPhone 4. I've been using it for the last probably 2 days on iOS 5, I think, or 5.1.1, I believe. I can check to know for sure. Let's go. Yeah, 5.1.1, as you can see right there. And I've had my SIM card in it for the last 2 days, almost, and I want to talk about the experience. Let's get started. First is the slide to the old slide to unlock. Just brings back so many memories. Like, I grew up with a iPod, I think it was an iPod Touch 4th generation or 3rd generation or something like that, and it just brought back so many memories. Well, another thing that would bring back memories to some people that have had iPhones for a while is the cover flow. Completely forgot about that when I first did this. And one thing that I thought was actually pretty nice about this device was the battery life. I don't know if it's just because of iOS 5 or because of something else like or just because of the battery was replaced. It looks like the battery might have been replaced in this phone. I don't know. I want to do a teardown video in the future, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. But anyways, back on to what's kind of useful and what's not useful. Well, what's usable and what's not usable, I should say. So calling and texting, calling works, like, fully 100%. Like, that's not to be expected. Text, oh crap, home button's broken, but something that is like, it's a hit or miss, that's what I should say, is the fact that messaging is a completely different thing. I'm not going to click on it because I have my messages in through there, but the messaging is kind of a hit and miss. If you try to text somebody that also has an iPhone or pretty much any type of device as well, there will be some major clawbacks. So iMessage doesn't work, period. Which is, you can get iMessage through. Like, somebody can text you and it'll be a text or iMessage, but as soon as you try to text them back, they won't get it at all. I know this because I have a MacBook and a newer iPhone, and so I tested that out, created a whole separate Apple ID specifically for that, and you can receive iMessage, but you can't send them. So I will be making a follow-up video with this because I am going to update it to the most up-to-date version of iOS. And for people that might say that, oh well, he's gonna ruin everything, I have a downgrade tool that actually does work. I will link it down in the description. This is not a tutorial, nothing, but I will link the video I use down in the description, or if the comments ask for it. If not, I'm not gonna worry about it. But anyway, I will do another video in probably the next couple days with the iPhone 4 on iOS 7 to see what the experience is and see how different it looks, and kind of just go through everything that's different, see if iMessage actually works on that version of iOS. And I will keep you posted. Peace.
As of recording as of making the video about iOS 5 or using the iOS 7, this is completely unusable. It says I have cellular data when I don't. So I can't even use my SIM card or anything, so I cannot use this as the daily driver. So get ready for the teardown, and then there will be no video for iOS 7 daily driving, just for teardown in the future.